going to need is a character sheet. Now, normally, we would let you create your own characters, use the character creator. It's very simple, straightforward, but in the interest of time, what I've got for you here,
Pre-prepared.
Pre-prepared, but we've not filled in everything. We've just filled in the crunchy mechanic side of things. So, cool. So, we're going to be as a party of 3. So, yeah, we'll go with these 3. So,
Hi, this is Mappa Mundi.
Sean? Brilliant. Sorry, Danny, you've got the default one at the end there.
That's fine by me. Oh, yes!
So, what you should have on there for you is going to be your license, like your class.
Yeah.
It will have on there as well your skills and your abilities. Don't worry too much about this, we'll finish as we go along. We're going to look things up. We have a little sort of 5-minute thing at the start to have a look through the book and learn about them. I'm also going to give you all some dice to use. So you should each get 2 d4s and 2 d6s. And I've got 2 spare d4s I can't count. Good work, DM.
Nice dice. Where did you find these?
Literally the stall just over there, because the nearest one that had dice for sale in a singles format.
It's just a snail.
Fabledrolls.com. They saved my neck when I realised we were a bit short on dice for it today. I'll just move some of the little bits of rubbish that had built up over the course. George, do you want your individual cards, mate? There you go. And I'll move our sign.
Oh, guys, by the way, is anyone alright with me taking pictures?
You go if you like.
Everyone's fine with photos or not
I'm
alright?
already recording, so yeah, go for it.
Check in.
Can you imagine the audacity of not being fine with for taking photos and you were filming? Cool. Right then, so any questions before we dive into the adventure?
No, let's do it.
Learn by doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn by doing.
We're
Okay,
doing.
cool.
That's fine.
Let's go into it. So,
Wait a minute, this is a co-op. Violence is not an option.
I attack Goddy.
Can't tell it.
you can have, well, you can attack him, but nothing good will happen if you do.
No,
That wasn't his plan, right?
You will slip in the mud and you will make a fool of yourself. So, one of the key parts about Mappa Mundi is the idea of as you explore the world, you see things and you experience things and you get to shape the world around you. So to do that, everyone gets a journal page which you get to fill in. Now, your journal page is split into 3 sections. And it's handily noted. You've got your research phase, you've got your journey phase, and you've got your encounter phase. For each of those phases of this game, I'm going to make it very clear to you which one you're in. Everyone will get an opportunity at every point to contribute. You can make it as big or as detailed, or as light and as short as you want. You have complete freedom, but all we ask that is when we keep on going is that everybody contributes and says something. If you're generally out of ideas, you can always say to pass, but you'll get more out of the game if you can contribute. So, what I need you all to do is on your character sheets, and you need to come up with a character name as well. And if you'd like to draw a little sketch of your character, you're welcome to do so as it goes on. But for now, the main thing you need to do is to fill in a name and think of what your character is going to do and be.
Seduction and traversal.
So, those abilities which are on the bottom left corner of the sheet, these are the key mechanic for the game. So anytime you do a thing, there's a skill linked to it, and that skill has an ability. That tells you what dice you're going to roll for it, basically. So, for example, if you are on a lake and you're trying to sail your boat across it, we're going to ask you how you do that. Now, you can use anything you want to do that, but you can link it to what's going on. So you might say that, okay, I have an ability called Keen Senses. I use that to put my hand on the tiller and feel the motion of the lake to help guide us better. That might be like a minor buff within the rules for myself. But you might as well put the ability Steady Hands as well, which that's going to let you be able to carefully maneuver the boat. You each have a license, which is like your character class. So I believe we have a guardian, a fixer, and an archivist. So it's in the book, a guardian, you are like you are the other guardian. You're the one for keeping these nerds safe as they get lost in botany and animals. You're the kind of person that will run in to do the physical things, and you will try and, you are more practical, I would say. The fixer, you are the rogue-esque. You are the rogue-like character. You are able to save people from themselves, navigate social situations, maybe understand why things are happening in ways that other people just aren't observant enough to see. Archivist, you are the primary researcher. Your skills are based around understanding the world around you through observation and through your knowledge. The fourth class we're not going to play with right now is the diviner. My colleague Jeremy insists on calling it a diviner, but it's clearly a diviner. A diviner is somebody who is able to understand the role of fate. Fate is an active element of the world of ecumeny. You underestimate at your peril. Fate is so important, you understand it to be an active part, that everyone carries bones in their pocket, little tokens, which are your dice. Your dice are literally your bones. The tarot cards are in the world as well, and that helps reveal your fate, and it's how we explore the fate of your characters today. Everyone cool so far, brilliant stuff. Right then, so we're going to be doing a shortened version of our scenario called Root and Branch. We're going to try and keep this to probably about 60 minutes. Okay. So let me just double check what we're leaving out and what we're not including. So, you have been brought together by the Mappa Mundi Institute and you've been sent out to a village called Gascar. It's where, if we had the map sheets printed off, we'd get you a map to fill in, but we're going to skip that on this particular sample of the game. Gascar is located in a region with frequent rainfall. Now, you know, though, that for the last 6 months, the rain has been getting especially heavy, point where it's causing massive problems for the village. Heavy fog is constantly prevalent, and it is causing issues with the crops, it's causing issues with the villagers themselves. People are going missing as well. And at the time of the last census, Gascar had a population of 135 people, but that has been going down in recent months. The local mayor is a chap called Bastian Hugo. This is where your researcher can make some notes at this point as well, some of these names. Bastian Hugo is the owner of Gascar's only inn, the Yawning Mastiff.
Where's this going? Other notes or NPC notes?
NPC or other notes, whatever feels best for yourself. If you think that Bastian Hugo's like a monster, you can also do him as a monster if you really want to.
It's dead suspicious. People going missing. He's the only named NPC so far. Global crime suspect.
When you get to Gascar, your contact initially is a lady called Sylvie Perrault. She is the head of the local House of Fate, kind of like the local church. Religion isn't really a thing in ecumeny, but it is something to be aware of, I would say. Sylvia sent a letter to the Mappa Mundi Institute asking for help, which is why you've been sent out. In her letter, she noted that the townsfolk have noticed moving roots and branches in the nearby Azora Wood, and the public believe that a monster has moved into the area, and this is the cause of what's going on, but nobody knows for sure. Brilliant. Okay then, so you've all done your journey out from the Institute and you've reached Gascar. So I'm going to do my best DM voice now. Has everybody got their set of dice, yeah? What you can do is remind yourself of which dice you're using. You can put your dice actually on your character sheet, so your D4, this is D4, this is D4, and it just reminds you where things are as well. So, you are greeted by a worn sign that reads, "Welcome to Gascar," along with a gentle glow that radiates from the windows of several candle-lit houses. The constant sound of rain landing on thatched roofs permeates the area, and a dog can be heard shaking droplets from its fur down the road. Few locals wander the streets, and those that are milling around look like hard-working, weary farmers. Gascar is clearly the epitome of a sleepy village, but you can't help but wonder what secrets hide beneath this quiet veneer. So, in time-honored fashion, what would you guys like to do first?
We need to find Sylvie, alright?
Yeah.
And who's saying this?
I'm Lockshire.
Lockshire.
Yeah.
Cool. Can you tell us about? Can you tell a little bit about Lockshire? Have you got any ideas about Lockshire? Who they are? What do your fellow travellers, what do your fellow institute members know about you?
Well, they know. I'm hoping they know I'm a fixer with a strength of deduction. Lockshire, of course, is named after Sherlock. But
Of course, I like it.
Yeah, very, very thoughtful chap. Yeah.
Cool. Are you wearing any clothing? Have you got a unique look to you?
Okay, interesting. Wearing a sort of mysterious cloak.
Okay, mysterious cloak. We can let you go.
Who knows what's hiding underneath?
Who knows what's beneath the cloak?
Not sure yet what my inventory is, but sure there's something under the cloak.
So a bit.
No.
That's right. In terms of inventory, I'm not gonna lie. Mappa is a game where we're not very inventory heavy for it. If you
Right.
say you've got a thing, you've pretty much got it.
That's why I got the big cloak.
There you go. Yeah.
We've got ladders in there and all.
We are.
sorts.
There is a currency in the game as well. We don't in this again for this intro. We're not going to talk about it. If you need money, you've got enough money to get by. That's the main thing to know. You're unlikely. I mean, spoiler alert. You're unlikely to need money in what we're doing here today. But if you do, you've got it. Okie dokie. Anybody else anything to say?
They're normally much better than this than I am.
Right, well, Gwendrel is a big hairy guy,
Rendrell.
slightly greying beard, is a font of good cheer and optimism, really.
Oh, marvellous.
Well,
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was going to have a cheery character from
he's,
over
he is convinced that fate has landed him with people he needs to look after.
Cool.
Because he kind of assumes the worst about many things.
He has real world experience and he knows the world as it is.
As does his clothing. It's clearly been repaired a few times and stained and cleaned. And
So you say then that Grenville has got he's an experience. Great stuff.
I've gone with Keith Nash.
Keith Nash.
I'm obviously your archivist. I have clothing for pretty much all environments, as far as you know. So at the minute, I'm wearing very brown greens
Nice.
of the environment. But if we go to a
You're ready
mountainous
for
area,
the drizzle and fog of Gascar, that kind of thing. You've read the pre-mission report in detail. You've done the homework.
yeah.
You know what's going
But
on.
because of the shape of the lands, because of the shape of the lands, I've got some dark greys and greys just in case the landscape
Nice.
changes.
There you go. Prepare for everything. I like it.
Everything.
Cool, that's great. Well, your initial report that you're contacting Sylvie who resides in the local House of Fate. Would you like to head there first, or would you like to head elsewhere in the village first? Sylvie Perrault is your contact. She is in the House of Fate.
Yeah, we need to go there. Should we go there?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's head over to the House of Fate.
Cool, marvellous stuff. We'll just give Julian a moment to come back before we go into it.
Oh, I'd already written House of Fate. That's annoying.
Let's write it again. It's written many times, so it was 16.
Well, the problem is I can't understand my own handwriting.
No, I
so
can't.
this might be an issue.
My writing's gone goddamn awful today.
Yeah. So we alright with going to see Sylvia in the House of Fate?
Brilliant. So, as you make your way, I'll tell you what, there's sort of this shaping stuff going on about so much. Well, so you guys can describe what you see, what you hear, what you feel as you're making your way through the small village of Gascar to the House of Fate. What I about the House of Fate is that it's not like a grand religious building. It's quite a small. It's basically a home, like a normal house that has been converted to use. A bit like a corner shop.
So like as we're walking through, I recognise the fact that it's been raining for a long, long time. So there's lots of mud, very miserable. No one else is out. I know you mentioned before, didn't you? There's a few people.
There's a few people, yeah, not very many though. There might as well be. The people that are, they're kind of their heads down, they look tired, they're kind of hard-working farmers. They're just trying to they want to get to the inn, have the nightly pint, and then.
But it seems like an environment that once was quite busy and seems to be a place that could accommodate a lot more than it actually is.
Yeah.
Right
of seeing a despairing guy being dragged along by two dogs that are loving it and getting the mud all over.
Yeah.
Can I do? I'm going to do an observation.
Yep.
Because as we're walking, I'm going to stick to the edge towards the buildings because the road would be well travelled in the middle.
Sure.
And I'm going to see if there's any like routes
That's
I've heard
fine,
of
cool,
going
yeah.
that way.
Sure. So which observation skill are you using for that? So if you look on to the right hand side of your sheet, you'll have skills.
Oh yeah.
You can just do like
Ooh, I can use behaviourist.
yeah.
Because
Let
routes will
that,
go
yeah,
down
cool,
and
that works as well. Make sure you're on the right dice for the ability that you're rolling for. And off you go.
I'll do it in front of the camera. Free.
Woohoo, there we go. First dice roll of the game. So as you're looking around, this is a well-trodden village path basically. It's not been gravelled or anything like that. And the mud has gotten too thick. If it was paved there, you don't see any signs of any like sort of tree roots or anything. The village is like in the middle of like a sort of giant clearing. The forest borders it all on one side, the Azura Woods. But there's no kind of like tree roots like coming up underneath the town or anything like that. You can mark that though as a success because you successfully observed things. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So on your sheet there, if you mark a success for your ability, just like
Oh yeah.
yeah, just like it's like a tally mark will do. Yeah. Every dice roll has something to play in this game.
Oh, I see.
Successes
Right.
and failures. How you level up your dice.
Okay.
I don't really come to that in this session, but it's something to bear in mind for the future for it. Cool. So,
Get rolling, guys.
so you come. So you come to the House of Fate. It's literally like this sort of this. The door is open, and inside you can see Sylvie, she's a plump, gregarious woman with a warm face, whose robes are emblazoned with symbols of Fate's loom, which is basically like the traditional robes you would wear if you are in charge of the House of Fate. A bit like being like a local priest, that kind of thing.
So under interaction I've got read.
Yes. So I will help you with the description of read from within the book. Because some of these are open to interpretation as well. We do that deliberately, so you've got a bit of.
My interpretation of that is that I'm able to read.
So, using read, a chronicler, which you guys, can determine a target's state of mind, its levels of comfort or fear, whether it's confident or shy, inquisitive or uninterested, and whether it poses a threat or is safe to approach. This section is used to reveal behaviours related to general feelings, general attitudes, and basic levels of safety.
Got it. So can I use that when we approach Sylvia?
Absolutely you can, yes. So, if you roll your deduction dice, that one there. Sure. There you go. 5.
Nice.
Sylvia is the person who's asked for your help. She seems, you can see her, seems quite genuine. She looks utterly relieved to see you three gents coming in. Obviously, you're wearing your generic gear, but people who are in the know recognise you from the from Chronicles and the Mappa Mundi Institute. By your bearing, by the way you are observing the world around you. It's quite obvious who you are. You're not trying to obscure it, so she is proud to see you.
Got it. Do I get a point for that?
You do, yes. You get that as a success. So,
On this one here.
yep, there you go. Tick. There we go. Well done.
During this discussion, because this is a kind of like an obsession with me, I'll take my book out and start sketching them.
Yep, sure. By all means, cool. You can go ahead. You can go ahead and
Well,
sketch.
I'll wait till we sit down and then.
No, that's fine. Yeah, if you don't need to role play, you can just. You're not in an environment where your sketch could be at risk. You're good to go. Sylvie greets you. I'm not doing any accents because I'm not gonna lie, my voice has got to last for 3 days. So Sylvie's gonna sound very Mancunian and also very male. Sylvie says, thank goodness, at last. Oh good, I thought my letter would never reach the Institute. Welcome. I am Sylvie Perot, as I'm sure you're aware. I am so happy that you are here. Please come into my house, make yourselves comfortable. And she leads you into her house. Sylvie's house is modest and it's composed of a central room with an arms box and a few chairs arranged around a fireplace. The village in which to sit in contemplation. That's what I can tell you about the setup. So Sylvie gestures you towards the seats.
I take a seat.
We only just started.
Lovely stuff.
Actually, no, I don't take a seat. That's not who I am. I'm trying to be mysterious, so I just stand behind one of the chairs.
Cool, excellent. Please stop.
I'm on the seat, so
Yeah, just get in there.
So I think Wendell will take his muddy boots off on the way in to trumpet it all
Oh, I
over.
like that. Yeah. Someone who's polite. Someone who's polite. I like that very much. So someone says, I hope you've not had too unpleasant a journey. I know it's very wet and rainy here.
It's horrible outside.
It has. It all started about a month ago. It's just been very strange. The fog rolled in, and then we noticed strange movements in the woods. When people went there to investigate, some made it back, some are still out there. In particular, there was one person that came by, a rather unpleasant fellow, who went by the name of Pierre Vercher.
Pierre? Why do they call him the Cher?
Pierre Vercher, she spits on the ground, cursing his name. He's a self-proclaimed big game hunter. So in the world of ecumeny, to be a big game hunter, that is like the lowest of the low. If you're going out trying to hunt these marvellous creatures you share the world with, that is like massive, massive taboo. Absolutely enormous taboo.
Our diviner in.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Sorry,
Let's get you in the diviner shoes. There you go. All you need to add is a name. Cool, so while I'm going to talk, I'm going to try and rapidly build your deck of cards. We are going to get these a bit shorter than normal. You know what? We'll keep it to 2, and then we'll go into the encounter. We'll make it a bit shorter than normal.
Sorry, I'm putting one on mailing list.
Cool, right, so I've got there in the middle, your deck is starting to be built.
I'll also give you one of these. Scan that QR code.
So yes, so
Torrentially raining here.
it's at this point that you hear some pattering footsteps squelching through the mud outside, as we've already discussed, and somebody else comes running in. So introduce yourself.
Terribly sorry, this is a small woman in big cloak,
It's a common theme, the big cloak, don't worry.
soaking wet, really bad roads. I'm Ivy. What have I missed?
So Ivy, you actually are part of the adventuring group here, so you have all set out from the Mappa Mundi Institute. You've come to the village of Gascar, following receipt of a letter from one Sylvie Perot, who you're speaking to now. Sylvie has let the Institute know there's been some strange movements in the wood that the village believes might be down to some kind of creature, but they're not too sure. The last month or so, there's been a massive, so the last 6 months, there's been a massive increase in rainfall and fog in the village, starting to affect the crops. And people have started to go missing in the last kind of 3 weeks or so. So Sylvie just got you to come in and has told you that one thing that's gone missing is a gentleman called Pierre Vercher. Pierre is, as I just told you, is a big game hunter, which is a massive taboo in the world of ecumeny. People know that these creatures are like sort of a combination of the mystical and the real, and they are something to be respected, not something to be hunted down. But some people, like Pierre, believe that challenging all these creatures in a one-on-one fight is the ultimate way to prove yourself in the world. They are looked down on as sort of the lowest of the low by the majority of the public. There are some people that kind of respect their gumption to challenge the natural order of things. So yes, that is where we are up to. We just So, would anybody else like to ask anything of Sylvie?
Is there anyone in the village that's done well out of the weather or the creature or such like?
So,
we should take a nose into before we go hunting in the woods.
So Sylvie snorts and she says, honestly, it's been nothing but bad news for Gascar. We've all suffered. Our crops have been failing for the last 6 months. People are struggling to get enough food to eat. Local businesses are starting to struggle. But the only person who has managed to maintain their style of living is the mayor, Bastian. But even he has started to struggle in recent weeks. She sighs and she says, to be honest, I wonder if we've done something to offend fate, and that is what has brought this root and branch monster into our lives.
What is it? What? It sounds like you have a suspicion there of someone or something. Someone in mind that might have offended fate?
You could take an ability check for that one to see if you can find some more information.
So, I'm trying to get her to fess up.
Yeah, okay.
Would provoke be relevant for that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do it as a provoke. You can choose to use either your... it would be more likely to be a deduction rather than a traversal in this case.
Is this my training? I have a weakness on deduction.
That just means that you start with the D4 rather than D6.
Oh, I get it. So, we have a 2.
A 2. Okay then. So Sylvie says that she goes, I can't think of any one person, but people challenge fate all the time. They do things without thinking about it, and she has her hand in her pocket and she's sort of playing with her bones, her little trinkets, her knuckle bones.
That is a failure.
That is a failure, correct? Yes. Good effort though. Good effort. But I'd say failures are fun. A failure is still a success in some regards.
She's playing with bones. That's a weird thing to do.
So the bones are like, everyone has bones. It's like your knuckle bones. Like as you get older, everyone adds these little trinkets and these little bones, these little bits of things in their pockets, because fate is part of the world. So sometimes you'll want to know for you literally just you might, if you're on your own, well, you have to see it and see what tells you what's going to happen today. You might find on a dangerous thing, or you might pull one out, see which dice you pull out of your pocket, and that might give you a hint about what to do in that situation.
So, have we talked about any kind of reward for fixing this issue that you're having?
Okay, no, you've not yet, but you can certainly speak to Sylvie about that if you would like to.
I would say in a very mysterious, a dark and mysterious way. What's in this for us?
Well, obviously, we want to learn what's going on, and I'm sure the Mappa Mundi would be grateful to bring new knowledge to their door. As I'm sure you're aware, chronicles can bring new knowledge often rewarded by the Institute, which says, my house of fate is very poor and small, but I will gladly at the very least be able to refill your supplies, and I will happily give you a reading as well to tell you about your fates, if you can tell us anything about what's causing these things. I suppose to bring Pierre back, I'm sure he'll pull the face then. To be honest, we just want him gone from the area. If you can get him rid of him, I will gladly give you a true reading for that.
Okay. Have you done any readings?
The rain started. Did it start of a sudden, or it just got heavier over days?
She says it started off as a normal spring rains, but then in Gascar the rains tend to last for a week and then vanish, but these just started continuously. And they got heavier and heavier, and then the fog rolled in, the cloying fog. And then that was followed by strange movements in the woods. The trees like been moving almost. Very strange.
So there wasn't a moment at which it happened. It was as if what was natural got enhanced.
She nods and she says, yes. That's what's very strange about it. And she says, we've already looked in Pierre's room in the inn. And we found some of his left possessions. He also left a very open bar tab, which Bastian is very upset about. And she sighs and says, however, the only thing that we could find that we use might be this. And she pulls out a piece of paper that's been torn from the journal. On that journal, there appears to be some stylized trees. Then there appears to be a blank space, left deliberately blank. then there are 3 wavy lines, and then there is a spiral drawn on the piece of paper. So again, I'll just go for you one more time. So, piece of paper, there are some stylized trees, a blank space, 3 wavy lines, and then a spiral.
Water,
Yeah.
trees, plain, water,
So what's next?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask Sylvie?
Is there a river nearby?
Sylvie says that there are rivers in the forest, but things are moving. Things aren't where they're supposed to be. Because I went out a week ago and I went to what should have been a meadow full of wildflowers, and when I turned a corner, all I saw was a cliff. I swear there's not been a cliff in that forest.
Great, so the forest is alive.
The lands are moving all the time. Well, that could be earth, water, air, and then you're missing fire. All the elements. So if that's missing from the land, of course it's going to act the way it is.
Sylvie says that, like, Pierre was in the village asking about this creature for a long time. He was here for a good month, building his tab, telling us a wicked story about how he slayed many creatures in the wild. But I don't know how many I believe. And she said, and she said he would ask us all about stories we knew about the area. He would ask us about strange things as well, like if you knew any local myths about trees or about strange things that would come and go in the forest. I honestly, I am a chronicler myself. I've never heard these things that he's been talking about. So where he's got his knowledge from, I don't know. But this could be something to do with his plan. And then she looks over and says, "Oh, the rain is easing off. So you might have an opportunity now, whether it eases off, to head out into the woods. Do you have everything you need before you go?"
Boots back on. I'm assuming map would be no use if things are moving around.
Says, she goes, "Unfortunately, yes. Of course, though, being chroniclers, you'll all be able to make your own maps as you go, and that might help you retrace your steps."
I'm just going to outright ask her if there's anything she can give us to help us with this mission.
Yeah, sure, you can definitely do that. You could do that with resourceful.
Yes.
That'd be an exploration. It's an exploration dice.
Exploration.
Yep. 3. Sylvie, she thinks of it, and she asks you to. She says, "May I see your bones?"
I reach into my mysterious cloak,
Your mysterious cloak.
pull out a handful of impressive bones.
Okay. So you got your little trinkets. She looks at them. She waves a hand over them for a minute, and then she closes her eyes. Sort of. Now, as a diviner, either you know this lady. She is doing a reading based on Lockshire's bones. If you might have got a skill there called Whispers. If you make a roll on Whispers, you can join into this reading. So Whispers is linked to deduction. So pick up if you roll your deduction dice and tell me the number.
3.
Brilliant stuff. So I will roll for Sylvie. Good. For Sylvie sighs, she hands you back your bones, and she says, "Now you hear this as well, so you get almost like a vision of what's going on. You hear like this sense of the world. So as a diviner, how do you get senses from fate? How does it manifest for you?"
Feathers and birds, flights of birds, and images.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so as Sylvie does the reading, as you join in, you feel the temperature of the room drop for yourself, and you see a spectral feather come to land on a skein of red wool which is put to one side on Sylvie's dressing table. Sylvie looks over at the table at the same time that you do. Gets up, picks up the skein and hands it over to Lockshire and says, "I don't know why, but this might be important for you."
What is it?
It's a skein, so like a spindle of red wool.
Spindle of red wool.
Quite a big one.
Where can I write this down, by the way?
We put that down on other notes.
Maybe tracing our footsteps back through the forest.
Who knows? I certainly don't.
Should we talk with the mayor before we go, or go while the weather's in our favour?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
I would say going now while the going is good.
I would strongly suggest that as well. So, you guys head out into the village. You leave Sylvie, she waves you goodbye from the steps. And as you leave the village,
Guys, can I steal that book? Is that alright? Thank you. Just need to show people off. There you go, lads. I'll get it back to you in a bit.
as you leave the village, the Azura Wood looms before you, fog emerging from its fringes. You can make out the sound of water babbling somewhere, and the call of an occasional raven reverberates through these labyrinthine passages. Other sounds, and perhaps furtive movements, dot the underbrush, right on the edge of your senses, but the mist is too thick to determine what caused them. The wood is a place that is very much alive, full of mystery and perhaps peril. And somewhere within these leafy pathways, the root and branch monster awaits. Ooh.
We got this.
Okay then, so as you step beneath the boughs of the forest, even though you've never been here before, you all feel relatively comfortable with what you're seeing. So there's very no go into location tips, you're now into the journey phase on your sheet. So we'll go around to each of you in turn and actually tell me something about the forest. So I can give you, if you'd like a bit of a prompt, I can give you a prompt. If you want to go at it, just come without the prompt, you're welcome to do so. Would anybody like to volunteer to go first?
I'll go first. Obviously, thanks to the consistent rain and the rest of it, it's pretty heavy going. It's heavy clump-like soil that just tracking through the what would otherwise be normal trails is still hard work. And we're having to maybe cut a stave or two, a branch or two into a walking stick.
Certainly.
To
Cool.
help our way.
Feel free to add that to your location notes and your location shaping. I'm going to pick on somebody next. Who am I going to pick on? I think it's going to be yourself, my friend. What does Keith Nash see, sense, smell, taste? What does he notice? Or would you like a prompt?
As soon as we step in, the rain, you can still hear it, but it's not as intense. And the flooring is like a really soft, spongy moss.
Yeah.
It's not too slippy on the feet, and it feels amazing to what we've just been trudging through.
Yes. There's that thing where it's kind of, it is kind of hard going, but it's not like that sucking mud feeling.
Yeah.
It's a bit springy. You've got a bit of a spring in your step. Ivy, what do you experience in this wood?
Some really big clumps of brambles periodically, and you can see that there are rabbit trails leading in.
Strong, yes.
There's obviously warrens.
Yes.
There.
May I make a suggestion that you do notice on those thorn bushes some berries on there as well.
In which case, grab a handful as we pass by.
Are you going to do anything with the berries? You're going to have a
Yes,
taste?
just grab one or two, not all from one place, but
Yep, sure.
a handful.
So it's going to hold them, we're going to store them, we're going to have a bite. That's what we're thinking.
Eat them.
Eat them? Cool. Excellent stuff.
Oh no. I'm always worried about mysterious berries.
Well, this is an interesting thing. Lockshire has an ability that could be interesting in this situation.
I have a don't eat that skill.
So if you notice these berries being picked, you can roll a deduction dice,
So,
and let's see what you say.
5.
So what you notice about these straight away is that these berries are going to have a, how can I put this, a hallucinogenic effect on anybody who eats them that might make things a bit more vivid in the forest than they would otherwise would be. You can try and look out and eat them if you wish.
Do I know that?
You know that from looking
Okay.
at them, you recognise
So
them.
I stop. You all notice because it's very strange for me to break this sort of mysterious quietness, and I sort of put my arm up towards you and say, just so you know, things are going to get trippy if you take them. Like, you might see more than what you expect to see.
Okay. I I thought they were just blackberries.
They are more than just blackberries.
Can you tell us about the berries? What do you think they are? This can count as your location shaping if you wish, so it'll be a bonus one.
What's that?
This can count as your location shaping for the forest, or it can be something else if you want to. You could even do it as a resource that you've learnt about as well, that you can take back to the institute for further research.
Oh, what, the berries?
Yeah. So you can talk about what they look like, how you know they're not blackberries.
Okay. So you can tell that the stem on these.
You talk, I'm going to take a portion.
You have the sketchability, you should absolutely use it.
I'm going to draw and I'm going to take a handkerchief full. Got it away.
So normally
You have to take samples.
So normally in this area of the world, blackberries have a very smooth stem, but you'll notice that the stem on these are quite prickles. And this suggests that there is they're built from a carcinogenic, which could cause the brain to react in a specific way.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't know, this might be an asset later on. Be able to change your state of mind might actually help you in certain situations. So,
In that case, I'll fold them away in a pouch somewhere.
cool, absolutely. You get success for that as well on your sheet. So that would have been a deduction success.
I had a deduction before, so I've got 2 now.
There we go. Ta-da. Congratulations. So,
Did I get a success for the...
yes, you did. Yes. Sorry, I forgot to mention that as well. Yeah. If you make a dice roll, if it's successful, you get a tick. Failure, you get a tick as well. It's just in the right column. You make your way past the eaves of the wood, and the noise of the water that you heard before starts to become louder. And you come across a river. Now, this is an inverted card. This is going to be this is going to be a challenge. So as you've been walking along, even though it's quite moist in the air, you find yourself getting a strange thirst. Basically, you're feeling very dehydrated. So when you hear the sound of the fresh water running, is a relief to you all. What do you want to do now you're by the banks of the river? You can observe the river, you can sample the river, you can swim in the river, you can drink water from the river, you can dig in the ground near the river, whatever you would like to do to explore.
Yeah.
John,
Go first?
Yeah. I was going to. I've got wide ranging for skill.
Okay.
I kind of go up and downstream a little bit and see if there's a good crossing point for us, like a fallen tree.
Yep, sure.
or,
Yep, by all means, have a roll on wide ranging. Or 1. You are convinced there is a safe crossing point, nary about 50 feet away.
This looks ideal. I'm here.
I use my behaviourist skill because I have a quick read of it and see. I'm assuming the water is not going to be poison or detrimental to us, but I'm going to see if there's tracks where animals have
Yep, sure,
gone
absolutely.
to like one spot.
Roll on that for me.
So that's all. Yes.
Obviously, as what you've said there, you're convinced that you can just drink this water straight away with no problems whatsoever.
Wash it down with some trippy berries and we'll be all great.
So what's your character's name?
Keith Nash.
As Keith attempts to drink the questionable water, I'm going to use don't eat that.
You never thought you'd get so excited. Don't eat that.
Roll on deduction.
This is a 1 now.
Yeah, you're the parent of the group.
Yes.
And the good news
Go
there
for
is that a lot of is like, is it safe? I mean, the sand looks okay. There's definitely no signs of like anything in the water. You'll be absolutely fine.
So I've gone from being all mysteriously knowledgeable about the berries to being like,
Anyone can make a. So, who is it who's going towards the water first to get a drink? As Keith goes towards the water, the bank is quite sandy. You stomp in your feet, and as you're going, what? And you look down at your feet, and you look down, and your leg is covered in leeches.
Nice.
They are digging in quite deeply. So, let me have a quick read.
Did you say that the inventory is quite questionable?
It is quite questionable. Yeah. You can honestly make us go along.
So
We're
can
not too.
Leeches.
Yeah.
Swords is what we use for leeches.
Swords?
Yeah, swords. You put swords
So,
in.
well, that's what I was going to say, because I've got this mysterious cloak, haven't I? So I want to pull out my sword.
Magic cloak.
Well, what I was going to say is that you do have, so you could try to remove them. Now, if only somebody had a skill about being dexterous or having steady hands.
I have got steady hands.
You've got steady hands.
So I wearily lean down and start trying to get you out of the situation that you've got yourself into.
Roll a dice
I'm
for
going to
me.
distract myself
A
by
deduction.
I'm sketching these.
Like, wow, look at those leeches. I've never seen them. So, describe the leeches to me then. What makes them unique?
They'll be bigger than normal. Surprisingly, on the ground they're quite flat.
Yeah.
Once they latch on, they pull
They're
out.
Yeah, they're definitely getting engorged, I would say. Roll your dice, my friend. Brilliant. In fact, that was sort of cool. I'd like to add a fate point there as well, because your quick thinking has saved Keith Nash from having all of his blood drunk. You were able to use, using the salt we talked about?
Yeah, I reached into my cloak and pulled out a small salt shaker and just dabbed on each of these dangerous leeches.
Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
Following all the condiments from the end.
Yeah, leather spoons.
Who these mysterious leeches immediately dropped down and started slithering away.
As you notice them slither, you notice they slither from the sand. Now they are quite full. They look slightly mucousy, bloody trail as they make their way into the water. This gets a chance to re-roll your "Don't Eat That." You have another go at "Don't Eat That" for the quality of the drinking water. Yep. This time you suspect that well, if the leeches are in this water,
Guys,
it might be an idea to not
I've had a
drink it.
rethink about the water.
We also don't want to swim or even wade across the water.
Okay.
Congratulations. You've noticed this river is not as friendly as it appears to be, but now you know about the dangers. You do notice there's a safe crossing point a little further on. Congratulations. Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to move on a little bit for you.
Yes.
What's been cooking the wolves or something like that? I think the one that was here has been.
Now, normally there will be at least 4 more cards and at least another encounter, but we're going to, for the sake of the fun stuff, we're going to spin on a little bit. As you progress through the wood, I will show you some of the cards. You have managed to safely traverse the wetlands, and in the confusion of the fog, you have now reached the deepest enclave of the Azura Wood, where finally you catch a glimpse of what you've been searching for. There's a patch of trees that seem to wave back and forth in the fog-laden air, with their branches resembling fingers that beckon you to draw closer. As you do so, the fog parts and sinuous roots extend from those trees. Those roots encircle mounds of dirt and small boulders, and suddenly an entire patch of forest is meandering back and forth before your eyes, as if the hill beneath it has magically come to life. It's not a hill at all. It's the helix-shaped shell of a huge snail peering out from a wide crack in the earth.
Okay,
I look up at the snail and look down at my tiny salt shaker.
Did we eat the berries?
Don't use that skill.
I've got an ability here which is called Signs of the Wild.
You've got Signs of the Wild?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
I'd like to look at this snail and what's its... Is it aggressive or is it just...
You can roll your dice, man. I'll happily tell you some more information about this Helix carcola, as it's called. You just know the root and branch monster.
6.
Fantastic. So, the snail is in a very passive frame of mind. It is not aggressive, it is not on its guard, it is doing its normal, natural behaviour. It has not noticed you at all.
That snail is just being a snail. It's not riled up in any way.
I have something I want
That
to
is a
point
successful dice roll as well for your
want to
sheet.
point out. So when we were pointing about Pierre the Share, we learned about how in this world and in this area that he's a game hunter.
That is
It
correct.
sounds to me like the world that we live in, and the apart from the leeches, of course, because they were just doing what leeches do. But it sounds like the creatures in this forest are friendly,
Yes.
and loved by the locals.
I loved it. I would say there's a respect for the natural
Respect,
world.
yeah.
There's definitely respect for the natural world.
Because if Pierre was around right now, I'm guessing he'd try and kill the snail and use the ivory.
Absolutely. It's a good thing that he's not shown up, isn't it? It'd be a shame if he was going to appear out of the forest with a war cry and a massive spear ready to cause problems.
Can I use my read interaction to sort of get a feel for what the snail's thinking?
Yes, you can. This will be a similar test to what's just been done, but yes, you can use your
sorry.
read. That's fine. You could, there'd be a deduction roll.
What have you got? Oh, you got yours is more on it. Can I do a behaviourist on the routes to follow their pattern?
Yes, you absolutely can.
So do the deduction first, right?
Yes.
4.
Of 4. That is a success. So you get this. You move to the same thing. This, unless you provoke it, it is not really. You are literally ants to it. You are small things to it right now. You're not doing anything to attract their attention. It is literally just kind of slowly moving its way. It's steady, smooth motion. Its body is kind of, the head is mostly upright. It's got eye stalks looking around, but it's not paying any attention to you right now.
Have I got a sort of feel as to what it's up to, where it's going, and it's come from anywhere?
Yes, yeah. You know enough that if you were to try and move around it, you'd be able to do so in a way that means you wouldn't get its attention.
Right, can I use explore to search the area for signs of whether Pierre's been around here?
Yes, you would need to use one of you. Well, you can just do a basic explore check.
I see.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you can use explore.
Or I've got sixth sense. Is that relevant to this?
Explore would be a good one to get an idea of the area. You can make a start of a quick check of the area.
No, I'll cover the wide range.
Yeah, you can go with wide range as well if you want to.
It's 3.
It's a 3. Okay. There is no sign of Pierre Vercher. If he is here, you can't see him. If he was here, there's no sign of him. You can mark that as a failure. It was quite a high roll there, so there's nothing wrong with that at all.
What did you say you wanted to do?
I'll do the behaviourist roll. I rolled a 2.
Right, okay.
Okie dokie. So that is going to be a failure there for. Actually, wait. Do you have the behaviourist ability?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. No, you can't own it as a pass for yourself then. So what information were you looking to get from it? Were you looking
Maybe
for
the roots, like why are they?
Yeah. So looking at the roots, so this ecosystem, this biome is literally growing into the snail shell. You can see parts where kind of the shell is almost calcifying where the roots touch it. So it seems that as this snail acquires growth, its shell transmutes or changes into a healthy plant-growing medium of some kind. Like it stops being an organic thing and becomes more of an inorganic material.
Until things kick off.
I'll tell you what, because you've done quite well with that, I am going to give you a hint, free of charge, gratis, all the rest of it. This is something that is quite unique in the natural world. This shell. You could maybe try and make a sketch of it to record it for posterity.
I'm going to do that.
Brilliant stuff. Because you have the sketch ability, I'm going to give you this one for free actually. So if you look on your journal sheet, you'll see in the bottom right corner the behaviour log. Where it has number 1, you can write stone spiral shell, and you can leave that thread icon intact. Congratulations, you encourage your first behaviour. Your goal is try and get all 8 behaviours before the snail moves away or gets you to move away. So you can all make a note of that. The behaviour is stone spiral shell.
that anything to do with the spiral that we drew before?
Well,
We'll give you a. You've already got a fate point, haven't you? I will give you another fate point for noticing that, Sean. Sorry, Lockshire. You made a strong deduction there.
So I'm going to do another loop around the area. This time I'm looking for signs like, does it leave a slimy trail? Do we have evidence of how long it stayed in this
Sure,
place?
absolutely.
That kind of...
Yeah, cool. You can do an explore. You can do an explore interaction for that. Absolutely.
As opposed to wide ranges.
You've already done wide ranging, so something else would be a good shout.
Okay, I thought.
That is a fantastic result. In fact, you did so well with this. Give yourself a fate point as well. So you can spend fate points if your roll die doesn't quite go the way you want. It doesn't mean you get a success ultimately necessarily, but it means that if something bad happens, I might be able to mitigate it for you a little bit as well.
That would have been the river.
Yes, if you've got the touch ability, you absolutely can.
say that the health of the snails.
Yeah, you absolutely can do. That's fine. Before we do that, let me tell you about your explore. You've got some stuff there. So, you have noticed that there are some slime trails from where the snails. You can literally follow this path, and if you had the take samples ability, someone could try and collect some of this slime for further study and analysis.
A jar in your cloak.
Sorry.
Does the archivist have the take samples ability? I can't remember if we gave it to you or not.
I've got sketch, study.
Not okay, that's fine.
In answer to your question, of course I have a job. Definitely.
Anyone can try and take a sample of the snail trail by taking a. It would be. I believe it would be an observation.
I hand you a jar.
Here we go.
2. Would you like to use your fate point?
I'll use the fate point for that.
There we go. As you go through, you actually hit the slime and you go skidding off. This is an extremely frictionless material. But as you go, you're able to keep your balance, scoop up some of the slime. As you stumble away from the snail trail, you've got a successful sample of slime trails. Everyone, please, for behaviour 2, write slime trails, and that is an intact thread as well. You've done well there for it. As another bonus, as you were exploring around, you have noticed that following that slime trail, there is a crack in the earth that appears to lead down to a cave.
This could be interesting.
So if you can also add to behaviour, on the third point, subterranean.
Subterranean.
That's right, yes. You say you were going to try and go for a touch.
Get close enough to issue. I want to know the state of its shell. Does it look healthy and
Yeah, that's fine. You know what? You can count that as an automatic success as well, and you'll get a fate point for it as well. So you've unlocked one of the hidden parts of its carcass behaviour. So, as you touch it, the first thing you notice is that it feels very cool to touch this creature. Even though it's living a slime trail, its body is not slimy, but it does feel very, very cold to the touch. So for your fourth behaviour, you can write down cold-blooded. And because you've got the automatic success for it, there is no risk of your touch disturbing it, so you're doing it very gently as well.
Should we risk looking down into this cave?
Do we test the ground with a stick as we approach the...
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's absolutely... Again, do you want to roll a traversal check for me? If you have a traversal ability, you can use that as well. If you tell me how you're using it.
No, I don't.
That's fine. You can just do a basic check then for it. That's fine. That is a 1. As you are going forward with your stick, and you're sort of tapping along, and you misjudge it and you stumble forward and you actually fall forward over the hole and you are stuck dangling. This looks like a little recess. This is a deep chasm going deep into the earth.
I'd like...
grab him.
Yeah, I'm going to use my...
Before he goes too far.
Yes, if somebody has...
I'm going for quick thinking and reversal. I'm going to scramble down the side into the cave and kind of catch him from beneath.
Yep, sure, absolutely.
So, traversal roll for that?
Traversal roll for that? Yes, please.
That's a 3.
That is a 3. Okay, so because you have quick thinking, you get there absolutely fine. you don't do it silently. You actually, you once again, you've got that slime on your boots, and you go skidding off. You're able to crash into Keith Nash, but you are both kind of like in a slightly. You're more secure. But you both need help to get up.
Yeah.
If you don't get up soon, you're probably going to fall into this
We'll have to
chasm.
I'll grab whichever one's closest and just act as a.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be key. That'd be a traversal check for yourself. 4. Okay, that is a success. You were able to pull Keith into a more secure position before he goes falling down. You do make quite a lot of noise as you do so.
So I'm going to pull out a lantern from my cloak.
Yep.
Just to have a better look at what's going on here, because you did mention that it was quite dark.
That is true, absolutely.
And that it does sound like you're describing a chasm. So it doesn't sound like there's an obvious way down. So, especially considering that you just nearly fell over the edge.
Hey, I'm an explorer.
So can we just get a better picture of, because I've also got exploration as well. So
you've got your resourceful there, haven't you?
A better picture of where
that's
we
fine,
are.
yeah. You can roll a dice for that one then for me.
Which one? The observation?
Yes, so exploration.
Oh, the bottom one.
It's your result.
2.
Okay, but that's not a problem for it.
That's a what?
That's not a problem at all for it there. Right then, so you're able to see that this is quite a deep cave, but you do see there are enough ledges and enough handles that with a bit of preparation, maybe if you use a rope or something, you'll be able to get into the cave.
Not with my wool, I'm guessing.
Not with the wool, no.
Oh.
We will say that you use the wool in the fog to help you get out of it, to leave a trail for it.
Oh, to get out of it?
Yeah, that's what we think it's
We didn't have time to get there, but don't worry.
Oh, is that what that was for? Is the picture with the wool?
It's a slight hint for it there.
Is this snail reacting to the noise that we're making?
That is a very something. So if you roll an observation check for me, or if you've got sixth sense or anything similar, or forget what you have as a divine. Even though
I've got signs in the wild.
You could roll signs of the wild, absolutely.
5.
It's great. Give yourself a fate point as well, because as you sort of look up as you're crying around this hole, and you hear like rocks bouncing off, you notice that the eye stalks have flipped around.
Alright, so it does appear to hear us.
It does, it knows you're getting close to that cave, I would say. Yes.
So should we climb down? Are you saying that we can climb down into
You
the
can
cave?
climb there, but you will need some, I'll be blunt, you need to roll exploration and you'll need to have some good rolls for it. A bit of metagaming there for you, but you can definitely do it if you try. If you work together, you can try.
I've got the ability for it.
The only thing that worries me is that it's cave.
So I think if we're no longer precariously hanging off the edge,
Yeah, you're now in a more secure
I
position.
could try and lead the snail away. You'd provoke and make noise and lead it away from the cave. Give you three a chance to explore the cave.
Isn't the snail chilling out there?
It's heard the noise and it's not eyes sort of turned around.
Right.
So it's fair
Maybe
to
I'll make some noise going away, so it might follow me, or it might just be paying attention that way.
Yeah,
See, try and provoke with
by all means, yeah.
with a 6.
That is, it gives up a fate point again, because that was an amazing. Let's have a quick look. Right, okay then.
This is where we learn the details. Moves surprisingly fast for a snail.
So, as you make the sudden noise, as you run away from it,
Yeah.
the snail, it makes like a noise, and it starts to retreat inside its shell. As it does so, you notice that as it starts to shrink in, the massive roots and branches on the shell contract and expand. So almost forming an extra barrier around the shell, like the roots start to grow around it. You get the behaviour defensive. However, that is a broken thread. So if you put a cross through the thread, all of you, but you have the behaviour, which is fine. Don't get your goal is to get the 8 behaviours before you hit the break point of the threads, which I know as a narrator, but you guys don't. But you're doing really well so far. I'll be very honest with you all.
Still want to climb down this cave.
That's absolutely fine. You may start to make your rolls for climbing down the cave.
Okay, that's exploration, right?
Yep, you can use resourceful for it as well. You'll get a bonus for it.
Wait. How do resourceful?
So you roll an exploration dice.
Yeah.
With your resourceful, but you tell me how you're being resourceful in your manoeuvring down the cave.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what I roll first. A 2.
You got a 2, okay.
So remember that cloak that I have. I do have a grapple gun. So I've pulled that out. I've attached it to one of the strongest part of the wall that I can find.
Cool.
And I'm slowly and carefully making my way down.
That's fine, okay. So, I'm not gonna lie, you do skitter and skate. It's not like a nice, easy, level manoeuvre. Luckily, your grapple gun does, your rope shoots out, and you're sort of able to swing, you bounce off the wall. You're being quite loud as you're doing it, and you drop your lantern. It falls down, and it shatters.
Wait, that was a fire lantern. There's a
Yes.
fire starter.
No, it's just literally, it hit with enough force that your wick blew out, but the oil is all the bottom of the floor, so if you land it, it's going to be slippy.
Got it. And it was quite a long drop.
You've still got a fair way to go, yes.
And I'm just dangling off
You're
this grapple
literally
rope.
just dunk, smash, dunk, dunk.
Okay, interesting. I might have messed up.
You're fine. You're great.
Johnny, you're help.
But one thing that I kept, so you've got subterranean written down, haven't you, as well? Really revealed subterranean written, spectacular.
I wonder if that was a mother snail with lots of baby snail.
Yeah. It could be in the nest.
I'm going for the nest.
Right then, we've got about 10 more minutes before the end of the session, so I'll try and speed us along a little bit now. Does anybody else want to follow Lockshire down the crevasse?
So you're on distraction. So you
Yes, all right.
Yeah. Let me just check. Did we get the other as well? Yep, sweet, yep. So Ivy, you wish to follow it down. That's fine. If you can make me a traversal check.
If the grapple hook's at the top, I'll put my weight on top of it just to aid.
That's a 3.
Okay then, so with the support of Keith Nash, you literally holding it down, you were able to start to make your way down as well, and the two of you actually make it down into the cave.
Fantastic.
The cave. Now, when you get down to the cave, it is very dark, but you notice there's a bit of phosphorescence coming from the end of the cave. Do you wish to walk to the phosphorescence?
We'll pull up. There's a globe down here. Going to move towards it. Whether it's moss or slime, I don't know.
I mean, yeah. Well, my ability is exploration, so I'm quite keen on pressing on.
I follow him down. This is too good of an opportunity to miss.
Are you coming down as well?
Yeah.
Traversal check for me, please.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you have no fate points, do you either? Oh dear. As you start to grapple down, you hear an ominous skittering noise, and the grapple hook comes loose, and you start to fall down. You bounce off an outpouring of rock, and you become wounded. So you have a minor injury. So if you look at your character sheet, I'm going to put a mark in there. This means you're going to get some penalties, and your movement will be restricted.
So in my head right now, I just picture me and you at the bottom, thinking about what we're going to do next. And then all of a sudden we just hear, and there's Johnny.
Pull out my bones.
Your bones?
You're going to do a reading?
I do read it.
You're going to do a reading, okay. That is absolutely fine. So you have...
Whispers.
Yeah, go with whispers. Go on, roll deduction for it.
Spirits say, we can do no more for this man.
3.
That's fine. Basically, this guy's your net. What was the tell? You sort of see a feather floating down, glowing in the dark, and it sort of as it lands, the omens tell you that you should never have tried to climb down that cave. It was a fool's action to try and climb down the cave without some support from someone who is actually experiencing climbing down. But more to the point though, your whispers point direction back to that phosphorescent glow. And as you sort of follow the trail, you see an amazing sight inside this cave. There is another giant snail, another Helix carcole, and more to the point, this is a slightly smaller snail. It lies by a bed of moss, which holds a brood of semi-translucent eggs. These giant monsters don't normally reproduce, they're normally one-of-a-kind things, but this is the evidence that this is one of the first monsters in the world that is engaging in breeding behaviour. And because we are a bit tight for time, and because you've done exceedingly well, all of you, you've got 5 of the 8 behaviours and only 1 broken thread, I'll give you a bit more information as well. So,
meanwhile,
up top, yes.
I'd like to range around further, see if there's more other entrances to this cave that they're all down the way.
This is true.
In.
That's fine.
See if the things nest in a
Yeah,
defensive place.
So, yeah, you can roll for that. You can do an explore if you would like to.
Explore with. Okay, 2.
Okie dokie.
Don't you even fake point for that?
You can, yeah. So that's fine. Yeah, right. So there are no other entrances to the cave. It's the only entrance to it. Inside the cave, the Helix carcole, you notice that it is suddenly it starts to lurch forward, almost ignoring all of you. It's clearly been disturbed by the noise you made, but it's going on. Its clutch of eggs is sort of attached to its back, sort of where the shell and the body meet. Would you like to try and grab onto as it goes past, as it starts to leave the hole?
100%.
Cool. Right, Lockshire is going to try and make a grab on. If you can roll for me a traversal check, just roll your d4 for it.
Oh, D4?
Yeah. 4. You grab on and you are able, furthermore, to reach out and to grab onto Keith Nash to support him as he makes his traversal check.
Oh, okay. Good luck, sir.
3, that's enough. You also latched on. Ivy, you're going to roll behind.
Oh no!
You can use your fate to make it better.
I will use my phone.
That's fine, you need to roll again, that's okay. Ivy slips on the sail trail, but he's able to then, she slips to ride it up and to grab onto the very back of the tail. So it's a bit of a bumpy ride up, but as the Helix carcole leaves the cave with its brood of eggs, you're all able to drop off at a safe point and hit back up with Grenfell. The snails disappear into the forest together. You've witnessed something truly special.
Snail love.
And feel emboldened that you've gathered all there is to know about the no longer mysterious root and branch monster. Congratulations, everyone. You've successfully completed your first adventure in the world of Mappa Mundi. There are some things you missed out on, but what I would say is that you've got an opportunity now. You could carry on playing. You could go back to the village. So you'll really head back to Mappa Mundi Institute with what you've got and present your findings.
What happened with Pierre?
Ah, well.
I'd search a bit more for evidence of him, frankly.
So if you'd have had time, you would have found Pierre's crushed body further in the cave.
Oh, the snails killed him. Got it.
You would have found it's broken. And if you'd got the chance to check the snail shell on top, you would have noticed that there was damage as well with his spear pushed inside.
Got it.
I hope you've all enjoyed your time in Ecumeni in the world of Mappa Mundi. I hope you all had fun. Feel free to keep your character sheets. Please leave the dice.
That's okay, yeah.
Thank you very
Because
much.
I am not made of dice money.